to be here.
Tell us a little bit about yourself and what it is you're doing for helping people and how.
Well, I was born in South Boston and have lived in big cities most of my life. But for the last 25 years or so, I was working in the nonprofit sector. And I actually was founding nonprofits, and so I started 6 nonprofits all across the country. And I would work with people in the inner city, with gang members and prostitutes that had drug and alcohol issues. And so the last place, as a matter of fact, that I started one was in Gary, Indiana. And I also lived in the inner city all those times. I lived in Gary for 5 years. And while I was in Gary, I started getting calls from CEOs here in Chicago asking me to help either them or one of their employees, key employees, that had a drug or alcohol issue, help them get through this and become productive again. So I started doing that, and it turned into a business. And so I moved out of Gary and moved into a place with out in the country on a lakefront, and got a big house, and I bring in executives and CEOs that have those kind of issues, and I help them get their lives back.
Is it a one-on-one meeting with them, or do you have other people helping with that process?
I have some other people that help me, but I primarily am the one that works with them. And I live in the house with them, and so I have a special section of the house for them where they stay. It's really nice house, really pleasant environment. It's almost like a retreat setting, and so it helps them to get away from all the things that they've been going through, get out of the city. There's birds and ducks and deer and all of those sorts of things.
What would be motivating them to want to make that change?
Well, first of all, probably they've hit bottom. They probably are going to lose their job. Maybe their wife has given them an ultimatum that if they don't change their life, she's out of there. So they're going to lose their kids. They're going to lose their place to stay probably, because they're going to get kicked out of the house. I mean, everything is just crumbling and falling apart. The terrible thing about addiction is that many times people do not want to do anything about it until they reach a crisis mode. It's not like somebody just at their leisure says, this isn't really leading anywhere and I think I need to do something about that. Usually it's the result of an ultimatum or a crisis that they're facing. But when that crisis comes, I'm there. I've got 25 years experience in helping people in crisis.
What can you describe in your plan to help them better?
Well, one thing I do, which is very unique in the industry, is I offer a 5-year guarantee that if you go through my program and then I work with you, if any time during 5 years you relapse, I'll let you redo the whole thing again for free. So you only pay me one time, and then I'm with you until you're sane again and you get your life back. And so each individual I work with a little bit differently depending on what's going on in their life. And so if one size doesn't fit all. I work with people from varying backgrounds, varying religious backgrounds, varying personal philosophy backgrounds, and so I tailor it how I work with them to their individual needs and wants. But I also mentor them.
Now, what inspires you to do this? What is it that you're motivated by?
Well, like I said, I first started in the nonprofit world, and so I primarily work with gang members and prostitutes. And I did that for a long time, and I started a lot of them. I've lived in San Francisco and different places like that. I lived in Skid Row there. I did all of these sorts of things, and trying to help people get their lives back. But then when I first started being introduced to people, to executives and CEOs with these issues, it really opened my eyes to a whole brand new world. And you know how there's seasons in your life for different things? I realized that I'd come to another season and that I was still going to do what I do, but I was going to help people in a different category, in a different situation in life. And part of my thought was, you know what, if I could help a CEO or an executive turn his life around, maybe his life could end up being a real impact on other people. And maybe he could even become a mentor to guys and gals in the inner city that need help. So I'm very motivated by still helping people in the inner city, but I'm trying to do it in a different way.